What's up, everybody? This is Russell Brunson. Welcome to the Marketing Secrets Podcast. If you're here on YouTube, please click on the channel, subscribe so you can get all the amazing videos we're putting out all the time. During today's episode, I'm going to show you guys behind the scenes of the framework for the new Conversation Domination presentation, how we built it, how we made it sexy, and a whole bunch more. So the big question is this. How are entrepreneurs like us, who didn't cheat and take on venture capital, who are spending money from our own pockets, how do we market in a way that lets us get our products and our services and the things that we believe in out to the world and yet still remain profitable? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Russell Brunson, and welcome to Marketing Secrets. Hey everyone, this is Russell, and so excited to be here today. So we are less than 2 weeks away from Funnel Hacking Live, going live, which is crazy. And all sorts of craziness is happening. But to start it off, of course, I don't like doing anything normal. I want as much pressure as possible because for some reason, when a lot of things are happening, I'm able to focus and get stuff done. So we decided this week to do a keto fast reboot diet. And I tricked about 9 other people besides me into doing it because Prove It just came out with their new keto reboot kit, so I wanted to try it out. They asked me if I'd help write some stuff for them and help on a funnel and stuff. So I was like, well, let me try it out. So they shipped us out a bunch of reboot kits. So for the last 60 hours, it's a 60-hour fast basically, and all you do is you have these different keto products. So it's like you have a keto drink in the morning, and then you got a keto bone broth, which was shockingly good, and then another keto drink, and then these little pills, and then this keto tea at night, which was good too. And anyway, so you do that for 60 hours. And so we just broke our 60-hour fast and just had bacon, eggs, and avocado, my 3 favorite foods, all in one super meal, which is awesome. So now I'm heading into the office to work on my slides and presentations and stuff like that. But I wanted to share something with you guys today because maybe it'll give you a little hope or faith or knowledge or I don't know, whatever it is you need to get through what it is you're doing. But so I've got 6 presentations I'm giving Funnel Hacking Live, and I just started on them basically on Monday. So I got a 2-week window to get them all done. And you may be like, oh, that's easy, 6 presentations, 2 weeks. But each presentation for me is usually between 150 and 300 slides. So these aren't micro, these are macro, big projects I'm trying to get done. But for me, if I would have been planning this for the last 6 months, it never got done. So for me, it's all about just in time, getting things done just in time. So now it's okay, it's go time. I have to get these done. I have no other option. Now is the time to start creating them. And so I just want to share the process because maybe it'll help some of you guys. So it's been 48 hours, and at the end of 48 hours, all I have done is for my presentation number 1, I have a title, then the title slide, a headline, and a doodle graph of the what's the word I'm looking for, of the process I'm going to be teaching. Not the process, it's not the word, of the system. Dang it, there's a word. It'll come to me. But basically, this is what I'm teaching in a doodle, in a whiteboard thing, and that's all I got done in 48 hours. And people are like, "You're never gonna get these slides done in time, Russell. If you spent 48 hours on that." And it's true, but the slides take a lot of grunt work, but not a lot of thinking, right? It's just okay, what image can I put in here to remember my brain to talk about this concept, and what's the headline, and what's the just things like that that pull you through the presentation. The bigger part is the structure. What's the structure of what you're gonna be teaching people, right? And then what's the hook, and then how do you make it sexy? So for me, yeah, maybe that's the thing. It's the structure, the hook, and try to and trying to be sexy. So the structure was the biggest thing. So I was trying to think conceptually, what do I want to teach? How do I want to teach it? So I had this huge whiteboard, mapped it all out, and then I was like, hey, that's awesome, but super complex. And I took a smaller big pad of paper and shrunk it out again. I was like, hey, it's awesome, but it's still too complex. Got down to finally it was this really simple, here's the process. Here's what, here's the framework. I think that's the right word I'm looking for, framework. Here's the framework of how I'm going to teach this concept. So for example, this presentation I'm working on for the first 40 hours is called Conversation Domination, and it's basically how to dominate the conversation everywhere, on every single platform, every single channel, all at the same time. And I bought, one of my friends used to own a product called Conversation Domination. I bought the brand and the domain and stuff from him. So that was going to be the title of it. And then I needed a structure, so a framework. So that took all that time, a day and a half, just to get the framework to simplify where it's oh, here's the framework. Which if you look at how all my books work, .com Secrets, Expert Secrets, it's all about a framework, right? These little doodles are my framework, and I can teach off the framework. So now I've got the framework, and then I need how to make this sexy. So Conversation Domination is sexy, but we need a really sexy headline. And And so, in fact, I'm gonna go inside and find the headline right now so I can read to you guys. But we had to get the headline because that's part of the hook right there, is like getting the headline that's gonna capture people so that they see the presentation. They're like, oh crap! Like I actually do wanna hear that. I wanna know what he's gonna be talking about. So that was the next piece, was pulling out the headline, and I'm walking through the office right now. We're live, everybody. What's up? Anyway, so we're pulling out the headline, and that was kind of next step in the process. So let me come in here and show you guys who are watching. If you're listening, I'll read it to you. But okay, here we are in the office. So, all right. So the headline ended up being, and this is after probably 2.5, 3 hours of like headlining back and forth with a whole bunch of people. So again, it's not just a fast process. Like most of the time is going in these little things that set up the framework for everything else. So conversation domination, this is the headline I came up with. How to get your dream clients addictively binge watching you on every platform that they live on. Warning, this aggressive approach is only for those who truly believe in their message. So for those who are watching, here's a little picture of it you can see. For those who are listening, that's the headline, right? So I became the headline. Then it was like, okay, now I've got the title, I've got the hook with the headline, and then I've got the framework for I'm going to teach, and then lastly, I need to make it sexy. And this is where design comes in. Like we need to make this thing look amazing. And so kind of the storyline behind this presentation, and I'll get to that. I'm not going to tell you too much of the storyline because I can go on for hours about that. But those who were following Hacking Live, the presentation, you hear the story behind it. But it's basically likening social media to TVs back in 1965. And so how it works is, so like if you look at the design here, those who were watching, you can see it's like designed like an old TV set and just looked awesome. So I had this, and I got the title, the headline done, and I sent it over to Julie Stoyan, who is not in Boise this week against her wishes. She wanted to be here, but we had too much stuff. But I sent it to her, and then she wrote back. She said in all caps, "How do you make everything so sexy?" And then and I said, that's the big secret. And then she shared with me a screenshot from someone in her group and said, from Karen Wolf Milner, said, "How is it that Russell Brunson can make the 7 phases of a funnel sound so sexy? LOL, I'm becoming slightly obsessed with funnels." And she said that was literally 12 minutes ago in my group. And so what I want to share, the whole point of this podcast I want to share is like, you have to make your thing sexy. I could have been like, here's how to drive traffic to your offers. Blah, boring, right? Here's how to be seen on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Blah, boring, right? It's got to be something that like captures people, that's different, that's unique, that people will remember forever, right? I think so many times I see people like, my funnel's not working. I go and look at it, and it's just so bland, and like, of course not. Like, you don't have a good hook, you don't have a good headline, you don't have a good design. There's nothing interesting or intriguing. There's no story behind it. Like, what's the whole thing? Like for this presentation, like literally, I start with the title, right? Hey guys, this presentation is called Conversation Domination. I'm gonna show you how to get your dream clients addictively binge watching you on every social platform that they're living on, and warning, this aggressive approach only for those who truly believe in their message, right? Then I go into the story. So I'll tell you guys a story. There's this clip, blah, blah, blah. I tell the story about the TV, 1965, and I explain that whole thing, and now all of a sudden there's intrigue, there's interest, and now I can move into the framework. And for those who are looking at the framework, those who are watching live, or excuse me, watching on the video, you can see a picture of the framework here. I clear off all my mess, sorry. The week before events, things become a mess because I got like 8,000 papers open everywhere. But here's the framework. And that framework started out as this framework on this whiteboard here, and then shifted into a whole bunch of pads of paper like this, trying to simplify it more and more and more until I finally got down to this, and that's the framework I can teach. So it's cool about now, like, when I do my presentation, like, this is all I have to teach. I could, if I did no slides, I could just go up on a whiteboard, I can map this out, and I just gotta explain this piece, and this piece, and this piece, and like that's how I can do it really simply now. If I want to go complex, I can go make 5 or 6 slides explaining each one and showing pictures, like visual demonstrations of each thing, which is probably what I'll end up doing. But worst case, I have the framework. Now I can go and I can present this tonight, and I can do a 90-minute presentation with nothing but this framework. Like when I teach, a lot of times people think like, how in the world do you get on stage without any preparation and speak for like an hour or 2 hours or 5 hours? I'm like, well, I sit in the back before and I try to build out a framework of what I wanted to create. Okay, and then I remember Brandon Bouchard used to tell me, he said, the framework is your savior. Like, if you've got a framework like this, you always know where you're going. You're just like, you put the thing in, you talk, and then you stop here. Okay, what's the next thing? Okay, here's the next thing. Here's the next thing. So for me, my framework's always these doodle graphs. Like I could go, and if someone wanted me to teach a lesson, teach a 3-day event tomorrow on .com secrets, I wouldn't have to rehearse anything. I would just go get the book, pull out the framework, pull out the images, and just talk off the images and show it. And it would be not that hard because like the framework shows me where my mind needs to go. When you talk about how it all fits together, it makes it very, very clear. So for you guys, I want you thinking when you're making presentations, you're trying to sell stuff, and you're trying to like create things like that. There's some things to be thinking about. Like it's got to be sexy, right? It's got to have a sexy hook that grabs them, that like looks interesting, a headline that that sucks them in, and then there's a story that gets them to care about it, and then there's a framework where you deliver on the big promise you gave them during the headline. So anyway, hope it kind of helps, because I know just even people here on my team internally are just like, why have you spent 48 hours and all you have is a headline and some doodles? I'm like, because that's the most important part. Everything else is just details. So there you go. Hope it helps you guys. I have to go into lockdown and now make 150 slides for this presentation and then do the same process for the other 5. Actually, I'm gonna do this process for the 5 first, because this is the hardest part. This is the brain work. Then it's just like, again, now that I have this, the brain work's gone. Next week I just have to go grab images for all these things and like slap them into slides and make them look amazing. So the brain work's the hard part. So, all right guys, that's all I got. Thanks so much for listening today. If you are not subscribed to iTunes, again, go to iTunes, search for Marketing Secrets, and subscribe to the podcast. And please rate, review if you like this. That'll get me excited to keep on making cool stuff. Thanks, you guys. Appreciate you all, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hey, this is Russell again. I'm back. So I just wanted to add to this podcast. I recorded this morning, and then I spent the next 4 hours working on the titles and hooks and everything for my next presentation. And I just wanted to jump back in and just give you a little more, because I don't know, this morning I was slow. I couldn't think. So the 3 things that you have to have: hook, headline, and framework. So the hook is like the name of the thing. The headline is this is what the story's about, and the framework then is the structure of what the presentation is, right? So I just wanted to come in here real quick to share with you, for my Funnel Hacking Live presentation, there's 6 presentations. So we just went through this for all 6 presentations. So the hook, the headline, and the framework. So obviously I can't show the framework because they're not all done yet, but the hook and the headline are done for all these presentations. Now I just gotta create the framework, and then I gotta go bust out slides. So here we go. Presentation number 1 is called Funnel Hackers. We see things differently. So that's the hook, and the headline is actually the quote of the theme of this year's event, which is, it's on the back of the shirt. You guys can't see it unless you were at Funnel Hacking Live. It says, here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently, they're not fond of the rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them, but the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some see them as the crazy ones, we see genius, because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. So that's the headline hook for presentation number 1. Number 2, conversation domination. I told you guys this one already. How to get your dream clients addictively binge watching on every platform that they live on. Warning: this aggressive approach is only for those who truly believe in their message. Hook, headline, boom. Presentation number 3, funnel audibles. There's the hook. Headline: how to nail it so you can scale it. Okay. Number 4, multidimensional follow-up funnels. It's a hook. Headline: how to win the battle of attention so you can change the lives of your customers with the products and the services that you sell. Number 5, the 12-month millionaire. That's the hook. And then the headline: 256 of your peers have joined the 2 Comma Club in the last 12 months. Here's the behind-the-scenes process they are all currently using to unlock the doors to the 2 Comma Club with absolute certainty. How you can use the same system to launch your 7-figure funnel in the next 12 months. Boom. And number 6, the hook: breaking the chains of false belief. And the headline: what's holding you back is probably holding your customers back as well. So I want to share that because after the podcast is when we worked on it, and now they're done, and just wanted to share that. So as you're thinking through the hook, the headline, and the framework, those are the keys to any good presentation, and hope that helps. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you all, and we'll talk soon. Bye. Would you like to see behind the scenes of what we're actually doing each day to grow our company? If so, then go subscribe to our free behind the scenes reality TV show at www.funnelhacker.tv.